There's a surprising amount of like banter in these auditions and these sort of, well, I'm already terrified of any sort of small talk, but then you're doing this performative personality assessment that's kind of impromptu on the fly. It's not, they're not going to list that in their audition requirements for these schools, but it's certainly part of it. And it's very much like, are you interesting enough? Are you interesting enough?
I feel like what they do is the sort of verbal equivalent of grabbing you by your ankle, holding you upside down, and just shaking and seeing what falls out of your pockets.
Well, that's what my audition for Sunny Purchase felt like. But
yeah.
Yeah,
and I had nothing in my I had nothing in my pockets.
Did you when you were trying to apply, or did you submit?
I applied. I did.
Oh right, yes.
I got a rejection.
Yeah, I'm not a good listener.
No,
but
there were other places I did get in that were excellent.
Yeah.
But then I opted to go to art school, which I didn't need to be academically excellent to do.
But you were interesting. You're interesting enough to get accepted into an art school. That's pretty.
I guess. I mean,
I guess
you don't. It doesn't. If you have money, you can
Victoria is
go.
an incredibly interesting person.
Aww.
Well, I mean it.
That's sweet.
My friend.
I have worn a lot.
I'm only friends with interesting people.
I've definitely worn like a lot of weird hats.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen it. I've seen you wear a hat.
Yeah. It's
and
weird.
It's just weird because you're not usually wearing a hat. So any hat you wear is weird to me.
But it's that big phone cowboy one. So.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Oh hey Chelsea.
Oh hey Victoria.
You know what I need today?
What?
A breath of fresh movie.
Oh me too.
All right, we'll see if this works.
That's a movie I like to see.
Speaking of feminism,
yeah.
Soapdish. Sorry, I don't know.
Wait.
Oh shit, I messed it up.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
This is a breath of fresh movie.
Soapdish. Soapdish.
I was giving you room.
Soapdish. I'm so excited. No,
weekly podcast where me, Victoria Harley,
and me, Chelsea Pope,
we watch a movie neither one of us has ever seen before, and then we talk about it.
And we may not talk about everything, but we will talk about anything at any time. Spoilers ahoy, ding ding ding.
We might spoil another movie along the way. There's no warning for that. I'm sorry.
It's me. I'm sloppy, I'm usually throwing out another example of a thing and comparing it, and then I'm like,
it's inevitable.
Oh, it's like this plot point in this other thing. Oops. Oh shit.
It's
my bad.
Whatever. People live in the world. It's fine.
I mean, it's usually movies that have been out for a while, so I don't.
Like today's film.
Yes.
Do you want to tell them what it is? Because I don't think you said yet.
Oh, oh shit.
You don't remember?
It's something. It's a thing in a bathroom. It's a thing you can. Well, it's an unnecessary accessory because they're mostly built. Well, it's usually built into a lot of bathrooms. You probably have a little nook in my apartment too. There's a little nook for like a soap bar. I think it's just who uses soap bars anyway.
I still do, but I also like.
Oh sure, me too. Oh sure. Oh, that was a test. That was a test. You passed.
All right.
I'm a really clean person. I love all forms of soap. Actually,
we drifted a bit.
I think it's soap. I think it's a soap dish,
it's
right?
Soap dish.
But it's one word, by the way.
One word. And when I was doing research for this, at a certain point, the trail went cold, and all I could find were how to make your own soap dish, DIY, like build your own soap dish.
There's not a library of analysis on this film necessarily.
Not a ton.
You come across something and you're like, oh, this is like a diamond in the rough, this is an underappreciated gem. I feel like in this case, it's an impact thing, right?
Yeah. I remember this.
Maybe.
I remember this movie being shown on Comedy Central a lot when my family finally got cable. It was like the summer before freshman year in high school. Big summer for being inside.
Look, you're already exuding so much nostalgia.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a nostalgia connection.
I think there is. And I feel like they used to play this, but I never watched it. And I didn't yet have... I went through a brief period of really adoring Robert Downey Jr. because I thought, oh, he's so like strange and weird, and he's got, he's
cute.
He's a bad boy and he's cute.
Yeah, he's Mr. Handsome Boy.
Mr. Handsome Boy. The older I get, the more I find him to be like, I think you're a troubled person. And you're borderline annoying.
Oh, wow.
Which, not to be a shit, because I know drugs are a big part
No,
of
I
his
think you could be
history.
meaner.
I could be.
No, no, it's easy. No, I'm a fan,
just
actually,
saying,
but I get it. I get
and
it.
this cast has, like, I'm saying all this to say, we have an incredible cast in this movie.
This stack is casted.
This stack is
This
casted?
stack is cast. No, this cast is I
mean, like-
there's a lot of great people
Yeah,
in it,
I mean,
you know.
2-time Oscar winner Sally Field.
Yeah.
Oscar winner Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Oscar winner Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Academy, and not,
Kathy Moriarty.
Yes. Yeah,
She's a lot of people seem to the immediate association I was getting from YouTube was
Yes.
that she's the Casper villainess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a much better reference for our audience.
She's also Tish, the voice of Tish on Hey Arnold, which she is the she marries the gym teacher.
Gross.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Well, she's not a student. She's another adult lady in the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
Like,
No, it's not one of the. It's not like.
I'm obviously.
I don't think they would air that.
I'm not familiar with the canon of Hey Arnold.
You should be. It's a good show.
Sorry.
That's
Make
okay.
all my ice noise.
It's children's fare. I'm just a child.
That's okay. Well,
Don't listen to me. I have.
Soapdish is a movie that centers on an ambitious television soap actress who connives with her producer to scuttle the career of the show's longtime star. But nothing goes according to plan.
It's funny the way that
centered Cassie in
line.
that one.
Well, well, that's cool that you did that, but also I can't help but acknowledge that like that would have been a more interesting story to follow.
Yeah.
To see like a near like successful
But that's not
sabotage,
yeah, and that's like
but
not
that's not what we follow.
That is almost a B plot.
No, it's fully a
even a
B plot,
C
and it's
plot.
not even something that like
Maybe a C
I didn't follow it like close. I didn't follow that storyline closely. I didn't care about
It didn't
that.
feel like a storyline so much as just a permanent condition.
I just was like, oh yeah, like everybody hates this lady and wants her to fail. Everybody's trying to get in that position. So I didn't put a lot of stock in it. So it's like, it just kind of doesn't really.
Yeah.
It's a lack of impact.
No, and apart from some of the people we mentioned, we also have a young Terry Hatcher. We've got Elizabeth Shue, Kathy Najimy.
Yeah.
And Carrie Fisher. How funny was she?
It's just like once I was, oh man,
She was a bright spot.
I was like,
I wish
put more Carrie Fisher in there.
I wish that they had combined Carrie Fisher's role with the Downey Jr. character and just made it like another woman.
That could have been with more of the sensibility of the original Carrie Fisher character, but she has maybe like the job role, I just think like a little more. He was so like grovelly, like I didn't like that. It's for again stacked cast. Just not how I want to.
Yeah, and
how I enjoy them.
I also think it's described often as a satirical comedy. I think it just barely kind of qualifies as satire.
I think it like misunderstands its source material.
Exactly. I
maybe.
think the parody.
I don't know.
Like the whole.
Are we being mean?
No. Like the whole premise of this thing is that soap operas, they're crazy.
Yeah.
But the lives of these soap opera stars might be crazier, and it's about all of these clashing egos.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the set of a soap opera was like a soap opera?
I mean, what a leap! And the problem is
But
that
it doesn't like.
it doesn't feel though like a soap opera.
No.
Actually, it feels like this other bonkers level of zaniness, but it's not like screwball.
Yeah, it's like zany comedy, but it's not.
It's sort of hellish. I mean, honestly,
yeah, like it's just that's again. It's like I didn't feel invested in like the stakes of just like anything that was happening.
Yeah, I
which
couldn't.
is like kind of the opposite intention of soap.
I couldn't tell
I don't know
if we were like, am I supposed to like be caring about these characters, or are they all meant to be fixtures that are just meant to be mocked?
Is Sally Field someone I should be rooting for her to fail, or is this? Or are they all just terrible people and that's the thing, or am I supposed to be rooting for them?
And there's like an almost incest thing, like
oh no, they're legitimately.
Did
like,
they sleep together?
No, okay. But I feel like the desire was there at the end of that date, and they were gonna kiss, and then he like just dodges her and goes for the forehead.
Right.
Then Sally Field is on the pipe.
Wow. Okay. So we just
because Sally Field thinks that they did go into the room together.
I remember because there's the underwear.
And
shot.
I don't know. I don't find it funny or care when then you get the reveal of
Yeah.
When the big like shocking reveals, or I don't know, it just doesn't hit. Like, I guess because I kind of don't care. If you like it, you like it. Mean, if you don't, you don't. I
think if you like Soapdish, you should watch Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
I feel like you'll watch that and you'll be like, oh, this is cheese from Happy Cows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Happy Cows live in California.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's
that vibe of like, oh, this is like this one's dairy product, this one's real milk.
This is real milk.
You know,
yeah,
it's
right.
like
I think also Death Becomes Her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Another one that if you want the high camp,
yeah,
Death Becomes Her is a much more focused satire. It's focusing on the issue of aging, which is something that any woman can relate to, and it's a very targeted send up. This one feels like, okay, they're trying to target soap operas, but in doing that, we were talking about this a little bit before, but soap operas actually aren't this wild and crazy. People say things in this sort of dim, low energy, slow push in.
I look forward to sharing the Owen Gleiberman.
Yeah. I'm sort of paraphrasing it a little bit.
No, but it's because it's something you look at how other people word or say things, and it's like, you have better words, you're better at articulating things, but you get that feeling when you're watching it, and that's what leads to it's these reveals, or me personally, I should say, it leads to me finishing the movie and just I don't care about what happened, and I didn't really have fun.
I'm with you. The reel at the award show at the beginning was a strong opening. Like they're showing the clips from the other,
it's a little bit of a Zoolander vibe. You're setting up this reality of like kind of an egotistical character.
Here's the queen of the daytime
and
soap
they're
operas.
at the top of their game, and they're about to get challenged.
I mean, The Bold and the Brash, All My Trials.
I love The Sun Also Sets is funny.
The Sun Also Sets is really funny.
Silly
so it's like I was like, oh, okay, we're on a good track here. I was like, they set me up to feel like, okay, I'm ready. Yeah. And then it just sort of,
is there something that's supposed to happen in this? No, they're just really, I think they set up this glamorous world so that when we meet Kevin Kline's character, who is watching the awards on a TV, he has to turn the channel like with a set of pliers. Yeah, we're establishing this status.
Yeah, and I thought his scene doing dinner theater, doing Death of a Salesman in a room full of people who are old and can't hear very well and are eating their dinners and spitting out their little bits of bone, and like it's dinner theater is miserable. If anyone, I've never had to do it as a performer. I've certainly attended them as an audience member. Not the ideal way to.
Well, if you really love it, any opportunity is a golden opportunity.
You're right.
You're lucky for what you get. Be grateful.
That's true. Apparently, Kevin Kline really had done dinner theater before. And he'd also had done soap operas. He was like one of the only people in this movie who had actually been on a soap opera.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of interesting that he seems to do it the best.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love Kevin Kline, and
I think he's very like aware of himself. Yeah. And he's very measured in everything he does, but in such a way that like it's organic. Like I think it's that kind of like he makes it look so easy kind of thing.
Yeah, he's very natural.
But I think he's very, I think he's put a lot of work into it, I should say. In a good way, I say
and
that.
And even when he reaches these sort of like heights of insanity, he sells it. Like he can actually sort of stick that.
Yeah. I feel like he understands like the objective in what he's doing. And but it's also earnest.
Yeah.
We love us some Kevin Kline.
And look, there's a lot of people in this movie who I like. Again, that's what's so confounding.
Sally Field is also she's inherently likable, and if she wanted to play a more like shrewd kind of a Death Becomes Her kind of narcissist.
And that is exactly what she wanted. She was interested in working on a project about actors, and she wanted to play a bitch.
Yeah.
But then I watched an interview with her where she said this, And then she sort of backed up and was like, but, like with a heart of gold. And it's like, so still you then.
Well,
you know what I mean?
She did finally accomplish playing an irredeemable bitch in Where the Heart Is.
That's true.
When she takes Novalee Nation's $500. I told you guys there'd be spoilers for other movies, and you just got one for Where the Heart Is. She comes in for one cameo scene in the hospital room, smokes in the room. Novalee gives her $500 because she's dumb, and then she never sees her mom again.
I remember Sally Field was on a few episodes of ER. She played Maura Tierney's mother, and she had like bipolar disorder. I'm not joking.
Laugh at that, but
it was.
just,
I remember that run.
Her outbursts are like comedic, they're like not.
Yeah, she would.
There's no weight to it. I'm so used to it's like the whole time, like Mrs. Johnson. She's so. I don't know.
She has an incredible.
I'm pigeonholing her, but that's the thing is like it's tough to break out of a.
I don't know though because she won for Norma Ray. That's one of her Oscars, and in that she's. I don't know. I mean, she's not.
I mean, it's been a thing, there was a Be Kind Rewind video about her Oscar win, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and they kind of talked to me because she was from The Flying Nun, and this has been a persistent struggle for her to try to break away from this comedic, but also like this whole there's like a wholesome, and trying to just. I don't know, and then when I like her, so I want to, and so then I want to like the character.
Well, and some people, I read some reviews that said that they felt like Whoopi Goldberg was pretty tame in this. I thought it was a nice.
That was one of the more entertaining moments on the escalators. I know you.
You're her.
Shut up. You're her. Shut up.
It's you.
That's a fun.
No, that moment at the mall was adorable,
that.
and like also was like such a.
That was fun.
The fact that she I was
like,
the fact that she suggested it.
Yeah.
Let's go build you up.
Yeah.
That was actually a tender kind of sweet thing to do, to go to the mall in New Jersey. And
it's the whole archetype of the supportive like side character thing is annoying, but I mean she is also the few times she comes out and I was like really like, oh, okay, because I was drifting during this at times.
I think the scene where she's asked to write this guy back in who they killed off, I thought that was very funny. What do you mean? Be creative. He doesn't have a head.
I feel like she has a certain like tone, like a voice of reason in this that almost it's funnier because it's refreshing.
Yes, yeah.
I almost also felt that way. It's kind of like when we saw Amsterdam, and ironically, I think like Mike Myers was
right, oddly good.
His comedic take.
Drinks on me.
Yeah, there was a tone to him that was like so refreshing compared to what everybody else's.
No, he felt
weird shit.
He felt like he was completely in control of what he was doing.
Yeah,
you felt like you were taken care of,
and that's the vibe with Whoopi Goldberg in this. I think.
And I was reading a little bit about how. Prior to this, I guess, and I could be wrong, but, her personal style, she hadn't really gotten away from, I think somebody said she hadn't worn a bra in a decade or something. But
good for her.
This was sort of an opportunity. She got into it a little bit more, got into the image of it, and I guess had a lot of fun working with the costume designer and went for a gown and went for things that she normally isn't associated with. So it was kind of a cool moment for her, I guess, and I will mention that the costume designer was actually the same person who worked on Dynasty, Nolan Miller. So they brought in a person from almost like a soap opera kind of show. The production design was done by Eugenio Zanetti, who was inspired by Dante's Inferno because his whole concept for this, and I think it comes across, is just that, working in TV is hell for an actor. So he created sort of the down in the pit is where the acting is going on, and there were those bright bold red carpets and it's like, ooh, it was very
gaudy. And I feel like I was just thinking about as you're describing that just this film feels just very gaudy. I don't know. It's just we're just that's the parody. Everything's so over the top.
It's unrelenting. It's just there's no breathing room.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This should have been directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. We could have had some really cinematic shots.
Yeah. Yeah. There were also don't know, the scenes, that are, I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a writer's room or if it was a producer's meeting. There were these scenes around the table where they're making story decisions, and that's very hectic. And it's like,
I don't know. Yeah, it's like I'm thinking about like a parody of a soap opera that really nails the tone. Children's Hospital.
Right.
The Adult Swim. Yeah, it was Adult Swim, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that like tone wise and the absurdity, the over, or also that other or in sort of a different tone, the Matt Berry one.
Oh, Toast of London? Is that it? No.
He's doing, there's like this parody bits in like a hospital or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I've only
like
seen clips of it. I'm just thinking of the clips. I know they're like, you ding dongs.
Yeah, these girls are so stupid.
These fucking ding dongs. They said the F word and then they called us ding dongs. They called us
ding dongs. A few notes about this. It was produced by Hollywood Road Films and distributed by Paramount. As I mentioned earlier, it started as a broad concept by Sally Field. I don't want to give her like origin credit, but it kind of is in the way that she's...
So the story was kind of developed and...
Kind of for her.
Yeah, like this was like, I really want to play this kind of character. And so they wrote the story around this.
And I really want to do a story about actors. So initially it started at TriStar. Initially it was a different director. Initially there was a different writer. So it went through a lot of changes. Robert Downey's character was originally supposed to be kind of in his 40s. And they changed the role and made it a younger, more ambitious kind of guy, which it works. It does fit him. Carrie Fisher was in the middle of writing 2 screenplays, a novel, and a TV pilot, but she worked in time to do her role in this.
For all like the flack she's gotten about like her, the substance use and all this,
She was working.
She worked so hard.
She worked so hard. And
prayer candle for her.
And good stuff was happening too at this time, because this was around the time of Postcards on the Edge and, good stuff. Whoopi Goldberg, of course, was doing like Star Trek and Baghdad Cafe, so she was still fitting in time for it. So a lot of people were really fucking busy. Apparently casting Jeffrey, that was really the biggest challenge. Jeffrey being, the one Kevin Kline plays.
Yeah.
And they wanted Kevin Kline because, he was so funny. And of course he got the...
Who wouldn't want him?
I mean, really. Who wouldn't? I learned that Kevin Kline was known for being pretty picky about what he would do, so much so that he was known at CAA as Kevin Decline. I like that. I think that's good. But I also am like, come on, Choozy's smart. Good for him.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Klein, Decline.
It's perfect. It would be a missed opportunity not to do it.
I'm glad the agents have a sense of humor.
There you go.
Kevin Kline agreed because he really liked the director, Michael Hoffman, and the film he made, Promised Land, which I think was a Sundance competitor, if not jury prize winner. Kline was, as I mentioned earlier, he was actually on a soap opera from 1976 to 1977. It was called Search for Tomorrow, and he played Woody Reed, who was as described as a serial cad, which I'm like, all right. Yeah, he was probably hot as hell.
Did he have a Woody Reed?
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, man.
I mentioned the production design and all that. Oh, let's talk about reviews?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
I'll just like a few.
Yeah.
People kind of like it.
People do.
People kind of like this. We didn't really talk. I think we didn't really talk about. I really wanted to. Victoria, she basically does everything. So she sent me this review from Entertainment Weekly from Owen Gleiberman. And he's a guy that over the years, when I was like younger, and I had the Entertainment Weekly as a teen, and I'd see his reviews, and I'd be like, He's a hard ass, but he makes points.
Owen's good.
Yeah, he was tough on Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Yeah. He was tough on my Toby, but I was like, you know what? Fair, valid, true. Anyway, so he did the this is his first little blurb of his review of Soapdish. He says, the most lunatic thing about daytime soap operas is that they don't seem loony at all. Regardless of how outlandish the melodrama, the addictions, affairs, and tragic diseases, the never-ending cycle of scandalous backbiting, the lurid shenanigans always unfold in the same airless, low-key atmosphere with bland actors reciting their lines in an earnest daze. Yet that's never what soap opera parodies feel like. In Soapdish, everyone carries on in the shrieky, hysterical style of Harvey Korman. The movie is so busy reminding you of how outrageous soap operas are. Really, folks, these are wild, wacky shows. That by the end, your ribs ache less from laughter than from being elbowed. Oh, I didn't read the last sentence when you sent this to me. I only read like the first half of this.
I didn't catch that.
Like I said, he's a real.
What a bitch.
He's a little bit of a bitch. Well, but like he's got his words. He's got it. He makes points.
He makes points because we haven't. Okay, here's what we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
The ending of this movie is so
it had this weird, like, I just wanted to say, did you get like a noises off kind of vibe of kind of, I don't know if you know that play. It's like that. So you see all the hijinks of them trying to put this play together and everything's going on wrong backstage while the play's happening. And I got that vibe that they were kind of trying to go for like this hijink slapstick.
Maybe. I just didn't know that reference. It's on me.
Don't know. It sucks.
I mean, the thing that we haven't got to, which is like, I wanted to talk about all those points because I want it to be clear that we're not just like woke mobbing here, okay? But this ending
woke mobbing, yeah.
This ending is freaking.
Oh, it's just really cringe.
It's so disgusting.
Hey, look, I'm still a fan of Ace Ventura, and it has a similar reveal of like,
I'm not a fan.
Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. I mean, I make these concessions even though it's cringe, and I tolerate it because the rest, I like the rest, a lot of the rest of it personally.
There are other things about the movie that
you don't have to. If you don't like it, that's okay. Again, this is me doing what I feel like other people who would go out of their way to defend Soapdish, which is just I'm defending it out of nostalgia, nostalgic relationship.
Listen,
to this
we
movie.
had a copy of Ace Ventura in our house. It got watched more than once. There's no question. There's funny stuff in there. But
I feel like I'm in a way like demonstrating what I perceive a fan of Soapdish.
Yeah.
Like that feeling.
No,
of,
I don't want to say if you know. Okay, like I don't want to say like, oh, if you like this movie, you're a monster. No, that's not what we're saying at all. It's just
obviously
that
there's ending, like context and whatever.
But the ending, we discovered that the woman who's been trying to scuttle the career, as we used, that was the word we used earlier, of Sally Field's character. Somebody goes and does some research, finds a high school yearbook, shows up on the set, and reveals that guess what? She was a he, and pretty much just. It's the subject of a bunch of gross out humor and shame and ridicule. And Robert Downey Jr., who's like had sex with this woman, is literally gagging. Like he has to get up to leave because he feels sick.
Yeah.
And it's
much.
It's much.
It's
and what's a bummer is that it's not some kind of throwaway joke. It ends up
I don't think I like Ace Ventura anymore. I just thought about it like 10 seconds longer and I was like, wait, why did I defend that? I was like, I don't even fucking like Ace Ventura that much.
I mean,
I guess I was trying to be apologist for it, but like, I don't
I don't know what to say. I saw it.
Talks out of his butt and that's dumb.
I saw it like, not recently.
Burning bridges, alienating fans.
Yeah, but recently enough that I was like, oh,
yeah.
I don't know about this one. I mean, because the whole, okay, just to quickly.
No one's a villain for enjoying it for what it was at the time or having a nostalgic connection is what I want to say. Yeah. But also, like, I don't have a good time watching that stuff now.
But listen, like, comedy ages the fastest. And it's a shame that the ending of this went the way it did because, like I said, it's not just a throwaway joke. It actually recontextualizes the entire movie. Because now, and it also ends with this person detransitioning back to being a man and is now at the dinner theater that Kevin Kline was at the beginning, and it just was so
like I guess I guess I'll just change into my.
I've been found out. I guess this is it. Like and the idea that like it's the punishment. Why do they deserve that?
Yeah,
like because they were ambitious. In fact, there's a moment where they say something like, I'm a victim and I don't have enough, I can't do this forever and I don't have all this time. And it's like, that shit actually makes a sad kind of sense. You know what I mean? And it just, I don't find
but then,
it.
Like, so the stakes, so you have these like, on your end, and I felt this too, like, it's like certain aspects of this are kind of serious but then the stakes, we're not supposed to take anything serious, like there's not supposed to be stakes.
It's
I'm not supposed to care, but then when I do, I'm getting
and I think some of it was
burned,
that they wanted this big soap opera twist. I think that was what that was really...
it's the shocking reveal.
Yes. Stay tuned. You want to stay to the end. And I have heard that they're going to adapt this into a TV show with Whoopi Goldberg.
Interesting.
That was announced in last year. I don't know if it's still going forward, but I imagine they will, if they're smart, they'll dispense with that that idea, or they'll just do a better job of telling stories.
Maybe
like
make that character into more of a protagonist figure.
Yeah,
which I could see maybe following someone's narrative that way of trying to work in the industry. You know, as,
we'll see. I mean, if it even comes together, because of course Whoopi Goldberg goes in and out of favor, you know, depending on what she says on The View. Some other movies that came out around this time were Backdraft. What About Bob? Thelma and Louise, Hudson Hawk, Drop Dead Fred, Home Alone, which had been in the theaters for like 29 weeks at this point.
Oh my God.
And it was number 9 at the box office still.
Wow.
And then we haven't talked about our director too much. Michael Lynn Hoffman was born November 30th, 1956 in Hawaii. His father was in the Navy and stationed there, and his mother and father eventually moved to Payette, Idaho, where he grew up. He attended Boise State University and was elected student body president. Good job. He was the co-founder of the Idaho Shakespeare Festival, which is currently still running.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's cool. As we get more into him, I'm like, oh, he was a Rhodes Scholar, which that shit is impressive.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's a Rhodes Scholar. He got it in 1979. He was the first person from BSU to get that. So he went and studied Renaissance literature at Oriel College at Oxford. He also founded the Oxford University Film Foundation, and it was over there that he made a student film called Privileged with a young Hugh Grant. He became friends with British filmmaker John Schlesinger, which is a good friend to make. And after Privileged, he made a film called Restless Natives, which was about Scottish kids who robbed tour buses, which sounds actually really interesting.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Then he did Promised Land, which he also wrote. Again, that was a big success at Sundance. Followed by Some Girls, then Soapdish, Restoration. He did One Fine Day.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Meg Ryan
that was a
and
thing.
George Clooney.
I've never seen it, but it was
either.
a thing.
I remember there was a group a singing group at our middle school called Motion. Or Sequence, I can't remember which one.
Oh yeah,
but they did like a medley of like One Fine Day because
from
that movie had come out really.
So they had like a soundtrack medley that they.
Anyway,
yeah.
Okay, so here's the interesting one. He adapted, directed A Midsummer Night's Dream, like our favorite.
So our Midsummer Night's Dream.
He did our yes.
Man, I wish I liked this movie
I
more.
know.
Because I'm rooting for all these people.
I know.
I'm actually kind of rooting for the premise. That can be fun. You do the right kind of absurd, dry. It's like what Uncle Ruman was saying. You know, it's like kind of. I think like it just did a really good job, sort of articulating how we felt watching this. Is just like there's that dissonance of it not really hitting the mark of what it's trying to be a send up of. It's like it's just not satisfying.
Yeah, and I think, you know, he clearly has done other better work. You know, this isn't a high point necessarily.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
I know. I'm like, oh, okay. And that explains also that he and Kevin Kline, who's also a great Shakespearean actor, right? So, of course, they see eye to eye.
You can pull him up from the guillotine.
Yeah, he won't go down for this.
He shall be spared.
He also directed The Emperor's Club, MDs, Game 6, Out of the Blue.
Oh, he and Kevin Kline are like friends.
The Last Station. Gambit, which is not about the X-Men character.
Oh.
The Best of Me. And then, okay, so this is interesting. He wrote and directed an in-depth film about Gore Vidal that was based on an in-depth biography, but it starred Kevin Spacey and was like done and ready to be released.
Oh, and nope.
And then
yeet.
Nope. So never been released. Which,
got
I mean, I'm kind of glad because I really like Gore Vidal, or I found his writing. I enjoyed his writing and I like his attitude. So, I mean, he's passed now, but
yeah.
But I'm kind of glad that Kevin Spacey doesn't get to be the one.
Yeah.
So anyway, do you have best supporting player?
That's a good question. You know what? It was like a super extra secondary character. Now I can't remember who it was.
That's okay.
Oh shoot.
I mean, I just wrote down Carrie Fisher.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's barely in it, so that counts.
Barely.
Stunt casting. Just get her name, just to put her name on the. Is your name on the poster? I don't remember.
I don't know. It's
but
not.
Just I feel like that was.
I think that it was definitely stunt casting. Also, I think how fun for her to just play
Oh no, I mean, she's great.
Asshole.
It's fun.
Yeah.
We love it. We loved every second of her.
But even that
a waste.
Yeah, but even
such a waste.
Well, but even that detail, like it was a really funny scene. But then, like when Elizabeth Shue busts in there, and is trying to get a role, like she's pulling up her underwear, and it's like, I don't know, maybe that was just like a step too far.
They were like over explaining their jokes. Like it was too that. That's how I felt watching like Year One.
I mean, it's
that the idea of like you say the joke and then you're like explaining the joke after.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's a choice to just go.
Will that hurt?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, that just happened. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to think of who the other secondary type character. I mean, Kathy Najimy. It was fun to see her as a Tawny. The costume.
It's like as great as all these people are. It's like you just don't really get.
Yeah,
we're not really getting to We're not getting to enjoy them.
I know. And yeah, I think there were problems I have with it that relate to parody, story, joke telling.
Yeah.
But then you just add in this very unfortunate ending that just does not age well, and I kind of am left with a feeling of like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And no, I would not watch this again.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Nah.
I'm glad I saw it. Kevin Kline has beautiful mustache.
It's been on my list for a while, and I was thinking, going back to the beginning with like there not being like a lot of articles, retrospectives, or takes on this one, and I think it's an impact thing, and it's a ton of great people.
It's a mystery.
No one's best.
It's actually a mystery. What is this?
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? It's a short one. I'm good with that.
Don't hate us.
Yeah, I mean,
we're
seriously.
actually really nice and cool. So if that's the way it's gonna be, you're really missing out.
I mean,
we're really likable people. We have opinions.
How dare you?
I just don't think reviewers, I just don't think they apologize enough. I don't think we apologize enough.
I think there's plenty of people who
apologize.
Oh no, no, not that. I think there's a lot of people who probably have seen this and just it's like, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
there's I don't.
Well, let's say like it was like 58%. Let's say it's right around like the 60s, 6 out of 10 kind of realm.
I mean, it's interesting that. I mean, we covered, Death Becomes Her. And I feel like Death Becomes Her has had more of like oh, wow, that's still really good. You know?
Like I think the comedy stands up better.
It does.
I think.
And they're so similar in tone and setting.
Yeah.
And I can't help but compare this.
People, they give snippets of all sorts of scenes. Also, you have the build up of tension in the storylines, the discoveries that happen. There's there's the...
Yeah.
The stakes mattered.
Yeah.
And none of these people were necessarily likable people either. But it's like you can still make an engaging story with your characters don't have to be perfect.
Yeah,
to be entertaining.
I felt like they were deliberately trying to make these characters imperfect, but in such a way that still.
But it still had to have like a whole. It was still weirdly like we're trying to.
Not that people should go flying through the windshield, but I mean it's a movie,
Yeah. Cowards, no. No, but like, I don't know, maybe the series
it could redeem it.
Well, it might go in a different, it might take a different tonal.
Yeah, and I
just don't think the slapstick thing really, it feels like they're trying to do, again, like a noises off, kind of hijinksy, kind of thing, and then the soap opera. But then the soap opera itself was also like too
bonkers and
I
don't know what to say. I don't know. Fine if you like it, but not my cup of tea.
I don't know, like soap opera parody can be fun though. The Matt Berry thing, I can't remember what it's called. That's a great example. And then again, like I'm thinking about thinking about Lake Bell, and I was not saying like a million times, I was trying to say Lake Bell and Children's Hospital,
Yes. I'm not sure how, maybe Tim Heidecker has done this, but I would trust somebody like Tim Heidecker to do
sensibility.
A perfect sensibility parody. Because I think that's what's bugging.
It's very serious, right? The stakes are real.
Yeah, like slow pushes. I mean, I sent this to you. We'll share it online because it's too good a clip not to share from Kevin Kline's experience working on soap operas. But that's the thing he described is like you'd have your last line, and then you would just have to sort of sit there
Yeah.
as this camera does the slow push on you, and you can't really, can I interact? No,
Yeah.
just kind of, so just kind of looking around, you know?
Yeah.
And then talking about how every line is delivered very casually, but full of exposition because they're constantly trying to bring people up to speed, you know? And like, why, Conan, I haven't seen you since the plane crash.
Yeah.
You know?
There's so much fun in that.
Yeah.
And there's so much, there's that itself, it's just like, I don't know. It's just such a missed, I don't know.
Yeah.
It looked so good in the window, but it just doesn't have any flavor.
It just struck me that brief interview was funnier and more parody pitch perfect.
Yeah.
Than this whole movie.
Yeah, they were trying to turn it into this it's slapstick over the top, winky winky, as opposed to like just
trust it. Trust it. Like
it's the earnestness that makes it funny. It's we're laughing at.
Yeah.
You know, it's the very thing like, you know, John Waters is doing with you know, or like you look at again like Women on the Verge with Pedro and Almodovar, and like it's they're taking these absurd stakes seriously, and that's what
and
makes
there was
it
like
funny.
a tiny bit of it inside the Sun
Grounded.
also sets in that. Like the really butch guy comes in
Yeah.
and is like, I was doing leg lifts when father, you know,
Yeah.
told me.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
exactly.
accurate. That was perfect.
And that's
If it had been more of
fun.
that.
That's that stuff's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So you know there was a sprinkle on the ice cream
Have we
cone.
apologized enough? I think we've apologized.
No, I'm getting out the whips.
Okay.
Have you seen the Da Vinci Code? We're doing that thing.
Oh, yes.
We're doing the
We
thing
have a
that we're
scourge.
doing what that
Yes.
guy does.
Yeah, the self-flagellation. Yeah, it'll be very.
Because we didn't like soap dish.
We'll post a video of that later.
Oh.
Us doing that in the streets. Why is she doing that? Oh, she didn't like Soapdish.
She didn't like soap dish.
Or we could be putting.
And she's sorry.
Yeah.
We're not that bad.
No, we're not.
God.
You don't need to pelt us with fruit.
I
I mean,
didn't
fresh fruit, maybe, not rotten fruit. I will take fresh fruit. I'll be like, run by fruiting.
Is it run by fruiting?
A reference to a funnier Sally Field movie. To
Oh, and
bring us
a
out.
spoiler for Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Thank you so much for listening. If you're not mad at us, you can follow us on social at Fresh Movie Pod on all the places.
Oh my god, you could flame us on there too. I would love to.
flame us on there,
I would
yeah.
love to retweet a
Please-
drag.
Please start a flame
Sick
war.
burn.
Yeah, we can handle it.
You hate my voice. Tell me.
It's I like your voice. You want to tell them about our email?
You can email us at abreathofreshmovie@gmail.com
That's right.
with questions, comments, concerns,
Yeah.
compliments,
In the
promises you don't intend to keep.
Yes. And in the show notes, you can find links to the T Public store where we got some shirts and mugs and shit. You know, we'll get another design up there eventually.
I like my sweater very much.
Oh, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
did my shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh my god, look at this is my thing.
Me.
I got a thing. I got a thing too.
6 ever.
Oh, you LA. Oh, hey, hello, fellow LA person.
I
You got
know.
You got a thing.
I carry stickers
I got a
around.
thing too.
I hand out our stickers at the least provocation. I'm like,
Do
if I
it.
talk to somebody for more than like a minute,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, can I give you something?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
you know had friends who were just they go to go to my comedy show or something, and then I go to the women's restroom and I see one of their
Sticker bomb.
stickers on
Yeah,
the
tampon
feminine
machine.
dispenser, the feminine the trash box, the trash box for ladies.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's a good place to put advertising.
Disposal was the word, not
Yeah.
dispenser.
The
That's
little,
the trash box for
the
ladies.
little trash box.
For ladies.
Well, you can't flush that stuff, you know.
Well, you shouldn't.
Shut up.
You know. But then it's awkward because then it's like sometimes they don't put like a little paper bag in the little trash box, and so
That's
it's just like it's just naked.
Yeah.
But then there's stuff in there, and I'm like,
Guess I'm just piling on.
oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't just have a paper bag on me. I can't
You don't?
rectify the issue.
You know,
I don't know where storage is.
You know,
my own
whatever.
little doggy bag. I'm walking. No, this one's mine. Go to the,
No.
the dog park. You're like, this one's for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, we're good. We're
All
done.
right.